So who am I and what do I do, which is the big existential question, really. The answer is that I'm Momus, but in itself that's an assumed identity, because that's a minor god from the Greek pantheon, and he was the god of mockery, criticism, and he was exiled from Mount Olympus. And he's a bit of a joker as well, so kind of humorous, but always cavilling critic. I was born Nick Curry in Scotland in, well, a certain year, a long time ago. I am over 30, and I became Momus when I was like 24, 25, and I moved to London and I started making pop records, and yeah, I've made like 20 albums of pop music, and but I feel like I've almost come through that, and I'm not interested in that. Or in the meantime, music has died. I kind of feel it's dead. I kind of feel nothing that you do in music matters anymore, and that people's attention has moved elsewhere, and I'm kind of okay with that idea. I mean, I still make records. I still try to make every year one album. I released last year a record called Oki Milk, which is the third part of a trilogy, all of which begins with the letter O. It started in Tokyo. I made a record called Oscar Tennis Champion. Then in moving to Berlin, I made Otto Spooky, and then Oki Milk.
Shiko, reluctantly, Shibo, repeatedly, Tabi, just in time, Giri, hara, heartbeat, Kira, glitter and sparkle.
Other things have started developing, like I'm doing more in the art world now, and I'm personally more excited by what happens in the art world than the music world, because it seems less formatted. This may be an illusion, and it may just be glamour for me. I think it's like the grass is always greener on the other side. I love the stories people tell about themselves, and I love the idea of Scheherazade, and I kind of, if there's one umbrella kind of idea which links all the different things I do, like making pop records or doing performance art or writing a column for Wired or whatever it is, or blogging, it's this idea of someone habitually storytelling. So I had a show in 2005, which was at Zach Foyer Gallery, in which I turned up at his gallery every day. The gallery was empty, and I clipped on this little headphone thing and just told stories with a kind of red hood over my head. I looked like a weird shaman. And Mai Ueda, a Japanese artist, was also there, and she just paced around, wearing stilettos and very short skirts and things. She paced around the perimeter of the gallery singing. So the show was called I'll Speak, You Sing. And we had nothing prepared. We just told stories there every day. And sometimes they fell flat in their face. I mean, it was essential that it could go wrong. It wasn't slick and polished and prepared. And the next year, 2006, I was in the Whitney Biennial. So that was like an unreliable tour thing I was doing there, where I just had to tell stories about the other work in the show every day, again, just turning up every day. So now I find that if people say, do you have an idea for an art show? And I say, well, I have to be there in person, and I have to have nothing prepared, and I have to be doing something every day. If they say no to those conditions, then I don't do it, because it has to be this like Scheherazade-like structure. And it's the same with blogging. It has to be every day. And I kind of never know from day to day what I'm going to do. I love that uncertainty, and that kind of, you're right in the moment, and you have to reach inside yourself and pull something out.
Well, the Muses did come and visit me. Well, in fact, no, they didn't visit me. They visited an old lady I happened to hear singing in the forest. Her name is Yuna, and she's known for being the most misanthropic and most illiberal person in the whole of Athens. She normally spits on anybody who's deviant in any way, sends poison pen letters, and in fact she's become known as Yuna the Bomber, because she sends packages to any liberal institution, abortionist, or sort of deviant person in her mind in town, and these packages, when opened, often explode. I mean, she's not actually very good at the technology of bombs, because when when you open it, sort of some flour comes up, like a cloud of flour comes out, and you cough a little bit, but that's all that happens. I mean, she makes basically cakes which go very bad.
I'm interested in niches and interstitial points where you can, or interstitial points, where you can operate within a money system but not motivated entirely by money. Those are the interesting places, I think, where it's kind of in between two different ways of being and thinking and feeling about life. And yeah, so the art world, for me, because I'm not making money out of it, is a place I can actually feel very free. Yeah, I actually don't really want to get into the market mechanisms of the art world. What I want to do is to play in the art world and to consume, you know, in a moneyless way, all the ideas that are coming out through the art world. So I love going to openings or biennials. I love biennials. I love going to Venice or whatever Documenta I'll go to later in the year and just sort of consume it. It's like a kind of shopping where you don't actually buy anything. And I can just get all these ideas which seem to be, it just seems to be like a huge cornucopia, sort of tumbling with fruit. And I can just come along and steal. I think stealing is very important. I mean, as a musician, I've sampled a lot. What makes sampling original is changing the context of something. If I can get an idea in the art world and then put it into pop music, it becomes a fresh idea because it's never appeared. It might have appeared in the art world, but it hasn't appeared in pop music. And I feel like I've kind of been on the edge of so many scenes in so many cities. I've lived in London, New York, Paris, Tokyo, Berlin, Edinburgh, Scotland, Montreal, Athens, all these places, and kind of been just on the edge of some exciting scenes, but never quite participated in them and never quite been fixed. I think I'm very aware of the risk of being fixed in time. It's kind of interesting that I've left Britain and I don't really have any strong connections with Britain, and that when I've been offered exhibitions or whatever musical opportunities, they've been in Japan or in America. And maybe there's some affinity that I have with America because it is a society. Part of it is still a society that's founded as a dialectical criticism of Britain. So I kind of, as someone who's criticized Britain a hell of a lot, I know where that's coming from. And I feel part of that. And I feel there is something challenging and aggressive in my work. In a way, I still feel, in an old-fashioned radical way, that there is the man and there is the empire and there is a global monoculture and we have to fight those things. But ultimately what I'm fighting for is diversity. The blog is called Click Opera. The column in Wired is called Momus and it comes out every 2 weeks. The art show, I don't know, there isn't really another. I was going to be in the Performer Biennial doing a stand-up comedy act in which the jokes weren't funny and didn't make sense, but that was rejected, unfortunately. I'm sure people never tell you what got rejected, but I'm going to be in the States later in the year to address the AGA conference, the American Institute of Graphic Arts in Colorado. I'm meant to be writing some books this year, but I'm being a bit lazy and not writing them. Mainly because I'm too busy blogging. So check out the blog.